started to incorporate carbs back in.
You're also CrossFit a lot, right? So
Oh yeah,
there's a lot
lots of
burning
CrossFit.
calories with that, with the cardio and endurance and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of CrossFit. And I was doing a lot of workouts. Like when I was doing keto, it was I like had all this energy, and it felt like I felt like I could just do more, and I didn't like want to be still. I didn't like feel relaxed really ever, which was an awesome feeling.
That's like ketosis, right? Like
Yeah,
literally the definition of.
Yeah, ketosis. There's like you have this like it's like this. You're using fat as fuel, which they say, like the experts say, is like a really like powerful fuel source.
Mm-hmm.
So when you switch from using glucose, like carbohydrates, is like your main fuel for most people, pretty much everyone, is they're fueled by carbohydrates. So keto, you're fueled by fat, so it's a high fat diet, and that fuel source apparently it like burns different, like it burns. It's like a more efficient source of energy.
Do you think that's why I have so much energy all the time?
Maybe you never know.
Yeah.
Are you in keto right now?
No, dude. I had carbs last night.
Oh, you had carbs last night. Yeah.
But I am fasting, although it's only noon. But yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get back on that.
Yeah.
I think I just naturally have energy or motivation.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when I was doing keto, I really felt a lot of, I felt like I could just, do more. I felt like I could exercise more. I didn't really feel super sore, which was interesting. And like you were saying, like low inflammation.
Yeah.
And but yeah, since then I've put on quite a bit of weight, and I've switched a lot of my, like what I've been doing. I've been focusing more on like weightlifting, like classic, like Olympic weightlifting. So just clean and jerks and snatches, front squats, back squats, push press, strict press, just all that stuff. And
do you do any cardio anymore?
Yeah, I do. I actually, within this last month, I started to incorporate more cardio again, just because the CrossFit Open is coming up.
Yeah.
And I want to do good, or, do better than I did last year, at least. So, I started doing more like metabolic conditioning, classic kind of CrossFit stuff.
Smart.
To get my heart like conditioned, get my lungs conditioned. Yeah.
That's good. There's not one CrossFit movement you can't do, right? Like, because I can't do a muscle up, but I don't think there's anything you can't do.
No, I don't think so. The hardest thing for me to learn how to do is handstand walking. Mm-hmm. And
I definitely can't do that.
That was it's still really hard for me, but I can do like significant lengths now. And a lot of that, and I just actually tested like how far can I handstand walk without falling recently, and I hadn't done it in like 4 months. And before, I was getting like 5 foot sections, and I would have to like kick down. Mm-hmm. But with the weightlifting program that I was doing there, it's just so much shoulders, like so much strict press, like high volume shoulder press, strict press, push press. And so with all that work that I put into my shoulders, I kicked up and did like 25 foot handstand walk, without making a mistake in like first try, which was like, and I was like, oh, I still got it. And then I just moved on to what I was supposed to be doing.
Amazing. I can't get over the whole balance thing. Like when I try to kick up, I feel like and I do flip all the way over. Like I can't get that kick up and stabilize. It's just kind of weird. Like, and my body doesn't feel like it's in a position that supports that.
Yeah, it takes practice, like kicking up right and finding the balance. But like a lot of the gymnasts that are in the CrossFit world, they kind of frown upon the way a lot of CrossFitters actually do it, because it's like a controlled fall, like the way they're so scorpioned over and they're walking, and so they're basically like postponing them falling over but it allows them to get the speed and, you know, move quickly or whatnot. Right. Whereas like a gymnast, when they handstand walk, their toes are more pointed, they're more straight up, and it's a lot more controlled of a movement. So it's like it's adapted into like this crazy thing now where like you see them, the feet hanging way over and they're moving so fast, and it's just
and they go like incline.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
over the low parallettes and all this stuff. Yeah.
I've always been envious of the girls who grew up doing gymnastics because they adapt to this stuff way easier. Like those two movements exactly are the ones that are very gymnast like, and I cannot.
Yeah.
Of course, I haven't put like extensive time in trying to learn it because it's just one of like a million moves. But I get envious of the gymnasts. I wish I'd done that as a child.
I know, me too. I don't have that background either.
No, but you've adapted and you've learned how to do all of it.
Yeah, it's been, it's just a matter of like doing a little extra research, hearing different people, I think, explain how to do things in different ways. You know what I mean? Just like the way you explain some things, sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't click, that somebody's just basically could say the exact same thing, but just word it a little bit differently or give a kind of different analogy that goes with it. Think about, I can't think of a good analogy or a good example right now, but
I'll give you one. So I got, I've CrossFitted for 11 years now, and I was getting really heavy deadlift, but all of a sudden, every time I would drop the bar or lift, my back would like send the shooting pain up my back. It was like excruciating, and it like freaked me out. Like, I'm gonna throw my fucking back out. I'm gonna throw my back out. And so then I would have to like set the bar down, like, so you can't go as heavy, in my opinion, if you can't just drop the bar. Like if you have to like slowly set it back down on the ground, that's almost like a work in a negative, right? So I kind of plateaued out. And then, like you said, I got one cue from one of my coaches where I was saying this was happening. She's like, you're letting go of your breath at the top before you drop it. And so when you're dropping it, it's like your body's going limp, and that's why that's happening. I just learned how to like hold my breath until after I dropped it. The simplest cue. All of a sudden, no problem. Never since then have I had that issue. I've been able to go heavier, and it was just crazy. It literally inhibited me for years on lifting heavier.
Totally. I just thought of a good one that really helped me recently. People would always say, like when you squat, like take a deep breath in, right? And like, sure, like that makes sense to take a deep breath in and hold your breath. But there was this analogy that I heard the other day, is like thinking like there's water at your chest, like, and so you're taking a deep breath, going underwater, and then coming back up, and you let out your breath, when you clear the water, right?
Yeah.
So that analogy of like thinking like there's water like right here at my chest, like really, and just keeping that visual in mind anytime I squat is super helpful, as far as like just staying tight, not
tight core. That's what it's all about.
Staying like filling your lungs up completely, and so you're like more secure in your back and whatnot.
Just like triggered me talking about water up to here. I was like, stop.
I know. I stopped.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So what diet are you on now? So you've moved away from keto.
I moved away from keto.
Yeah.
I actually did the animal-based diet for a little while, which is Paul.
Animals and fruit.
It's Paul Saladino's diet, which is fruit, meat, dairy, and organs.
Right.
Yeah. And it was good. I enjoyed it, but it makes things a little bit, you're a little limited, especially if, I don't know, it's like, as far as like a family goes, it's kind of like you're like the odd one out, like not everyone wants to eat that way. And you have, I don't know, you have some limitations there. And so now it's just more of like a, I guess you would say clean eating. Like I follow Bobby Parrish is his name. Like he has like a YouTube channel, and Flav City. I don't know if you've seen it before, but he's awesome. He goes into the grocery store, and just picks up different things and, kind of dissects the labels and lets you know like what's good, what's not. No, that's funny. So yeah, we've already talked about this. So yeah, he has an app, which is like super useful, right? And you just literally download the app. It's free. And you just scan the barcode of anything, almost anything, unless it's like really new. It'll say like under review, but pretty much anything. And it'll give you like a green thumbs up if it's Bobby approved, or a red thumbs down, And so I've just been following those kind of guidelines, right? As far as it's like very conscious of like low inflammation and it, it's very healthy options. And yeah, so it's much looser, so I'm fueled by carbs now, like with the weightlifting. It's like important to like the Olympic weightlifting, like my sessions, are like 90 minutes long usually. And so not to say that I couldn't do it on keto, but I just think it would be very unorthodox. There's not like a lot of people doing that kind of exercise necessarily that are like outwardly spoken about keto, Right. So
yeah, which makes a lot of sense because, well, you have different body types, but then depending on the way you like to work out, which diet is best for you.
Yeah.
Like I think I will probably do keto my entire life just because it's easy and I'm successful at it.
Yeah, if it's right for you, like for
in addition to the intermittent fasting, like I have to intermittent fast on top of that.
Yeah, and I think keto is a good tool, and that's what I hear a lot of like influencers and people, like different YouTubers and people on social media. They talk about keto as a great tool to use, but it's not necessarily like just like like for you, like you come off of it every once in a while, so that's good to do, but it's a great tool to like reset your insulin sensitivity and reset just your switch over to that metabolic pathway of like using fat as fuel. So it's definitely awesome. I definitely think I'll do it again one day.
Like summer, like when you're like, maybe I'll lean down a bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. And just kind of switch over and do like a little like 2-month little keto thing. But
this was the first year I can ever remember where I'm like, oh my God, I actually lost too much weight. That is bizarre. That's never happened to me. And I lost it all in my butt. And I was like, shit. And this was at the end of 75 hard. And I was like, I got to put on 5 pounds. Like, this is crazy. I've never had this happen. But the cool thing is, which has never happened for me, I put on 5 pounds. It all went right where it was supposed to. And I can stabilize right there. And that, again, is something that's never happened for me, which is kind of awesome.
That is awesome.
To be like in control of your body and aware of what's happening and then knowing how to control it. Like you've learned with all your different diets and exercise, like what you want to see and what you need to do to get that feeling and that sight.
Yeah. It's like kind of a cool thing when you get into it and you do your research and you do it. You mess around with different things like that safely and whatnot. It's a lot of fun, and it's like it's a nice like focus to have. It's cool. It's cool that you like keto though,
It's just easy.
Yeah.
It's easy for me. I'm like, okay, I like meat and I like a little bit of vegetables. Mm-hmm. I do love bread, but it's easy for me to stay away from, and fruit, I can take it or leave it. I like it, but I can avoid it too.
Yeah.
I eat a little bit maybe.
Yeah.
I do love dairy though. So that's the other thing. So if I can have bacon and cheese, I'm good.
Yeah. I haven't had pizza in like 4 months.
Dang.
Yeah.
So being around those 2 pizzas last night, that doesn't affect you at all?
Nah. No. No. And they looked pretty good too. It's kind of like I just kind of gave it up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when you start to remember how it makes you feel, like I finally had to get to that point. I was like, oh, yeah, it tastes amazing in the moment. But then remember how you feel later? You're like, all of a sudden for me. And then again, when you lose enough weight, you realize the inflammation. I look pregnant. Mm-hmm. I feel like crap the next day. I'm like, holy crap. I actually became that healthy person.
Totally. I guess just to add on to like what I'm doing now, I kind of I forgot the main focus, I think, for the way I eat now is just like ensuring that I get enough protein, and hitting those numbers. Like I never want to have to count macros, but I feel like eventually I'm going to one day, where I'm like counting, adding up everything.
No way.
Like
See, I'm not that into keto
I'm trying to not go there, but I feel like I'm slowly creeping towards being that person that like counts, because there are days where I just am like, I'm not as hungry, but I like I'm not as hungry, and then I'll go into like my workout session the next day and I'll just feel depleted, so like there are days where I feel like I need to force myself to eat like some more carbs than I really feel like I need at the time, just to kind of fuel the training sessions, and to make the progress, because I put in a good amount of time, just like it's like a hobby, obviously, to lift, but it's like a fun hobby, and I want to do like I want to make sure I'm not wasting my time. So I feel like because I've had a few sessions where I'm like, gosh, I just like don't feel like I have the energy, and I really think it's related to just like intuitive eating. Like that's the way I'm doing it now, minus the hitting the protein numbers. Like that's always been a focus. But the days that I don't feel like I hit the numbers for carbs or my fats, I think it bites me in the butt a little bit. So I could be leaning.
For sure you're going to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's just another way for us to understand our body and how things affect us and all that. Like,
bless you.
Like when I wore that glucose meter for like a month, I just wanted to see, well, does that creamer, that keto creamer really, or that stevia affect my blood sugar? Am I in ketosis or am I not? And, I found out it was fine. It didn't affect me at all. It was very insignificant. And so for me, I needed that month or two to really dissect whether, so I knew going forward what I need to do or not do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you sent me that thing on the lion diet.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
You're a fan, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's cool.
I think for somebody who is suffering from like autoimmune deficiencies or tons of nutritional, just like problems in their body, I think it's a great way to peel back everything and slowly add stuff in and see like what might be causing that or underlying that.
Yeah.
And there's just so much false information out there. And like, you typically, if you're suffering from that stuff, you go to a doctor, they just want to put you on all kinds of medications, which is not going to help it. It's going to mask it, band-aided, or possibly make things worse. So I think it's an awesome solution, which is why Michaela Peterson did it, right? Because she had all these immune diseases and she needed to figure out and didn't want to be on medication her whole life.
Yeah. She has a kind of a remarkable story. Yeah. Yeah, she was in pretty bad shape. I can't recall all the things that she had going on physically, but she did a TED Talk that was pretty profound, I think, for a lot of people. And yeah, that's kind of in the last couple of years, I think that's been like a big buzz in the health and wellness fitness industry, is just the medical interventions are just they're not working, and they're just kind of fulfilling a different agenda. Maybe everyone's starting to realize, as far as the pharmacies go, like doctors are just trained to diagnose and prescribe medication as an intervention, and they're not looking at things like diet. Yeah. Or these poisonous things that we allow in our country, like different foods that are banned or ingredients that are banned in other countries. So it is, I love hearing like success stories, and I hope there's more of those coming out, and I've talked about this with you before, but like doing keto, like my asthma went away, and it's still gone. It's still gone to this day.
Which is something you've lived with your whole life.
Yeah.
It's been bad. Like, I mean,
it's been really bad. Yeah.
The majority of time I knew you were just, using your inhaler like nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just it's a lot of it's just been cutting out just processed foods and whatnot, and just and pizza. Like I mentioned pizza earlier. Pizza triggers it because I have had pizza. Although it was very good, very healthy. Like like no, not cauliflower crust, like normal dough, but all the other ingredients were healthy. So yeah, something there definitely makes me start to close up a little bit in the lungs. It could be gluten. It could be, but I feel like I've had other things that have gluten in it and it hasn't triggered me. So I'm not 100% sure. But with what I'm doing right now is very sustainable. And I don't feel like I need to change anything. Like I don't feel like I miss anything. Whereas on keto, I felt like I was missing something for me personally. Like I felt like
you were deprived.
I felt like I just felt like I needed to go get some berries or something. Like I just needed to go forage.
But minor amounts of berries are okay on keto.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I needed to like really forage, like get out there and like hunt all day.
Yeah.
Like there was this like deep energy, to like just find something.
Yeah.
And I just used it to work out, which was awesome. But it like got to a point where it was like, okay, I think I need some more carbs here.
Yeah. Well, and if it then becomes a diet. It's not sustainable if you feel like you're missing something. It's not right. Yeah. That's why I like keto. I don't feel like I miss a whole lot. So it's sustainable. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet.
Yeah. And I don't even really like sweets at all. But when I was on keto, I was like just all the keto chocolates, and it was a very, I know you do. It was a very, very different for me, like I'm like more of like a salt, craving kind of person. Right. Yeah. And, so yeah, just being on keto, God, there was something that just made me want to eat sweets, which is like carbs, so it was a hard thing to kind of, it was a lot of fun and I definitely will do it in the future, but, I just don't think those keto chocolates are all that great for you though. There's like a lot of
I think there's an in moderation. Yeah. An in moderation thing, like, you're right. If you're eating like a whole bag of those chocolate chips, probably not great. But if you have like me,
you get these little packs that are really small. What's the company of them? What is it called?
Chalk Zero is a good one.
Chalk Zero.
Yeah. Nice. I just have one of those little peppermint dark chocolate barks and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Moderation, like everything.
Yeah. My thing that I think really keeps me like satisfied with the diet that I'm on is this particular ice cream that I get. And it's called Mammoth. Mammoth. It's like a Mammoth ice cream. It's a custard and it's vanilla bean. And it's like super keto. So it's like really, really high in fat. No, I'm not sure where they're out of, but
no, but do they have it here?
I don't think they do. I don't think they do, but we're not in Santa Cruz. I didn't see it at Whole Foods or New Leaf, but where I live in Sonora, the little health food store there has it, so it's really convenient. I've ordered directly from the company, but you have to order 8 and it's like it takes up a lot of freezer space. So it's not like the way to go,
my heat and coffee take up the majority of my freezer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but just, it's really awesome ice cream. And the big thing is it's got like grass fed, cream, which is like, obviously, you're going to get those good omega, 3 fatty acids from anything that's grass fed. And, super good.
I think, you bringing that up, there's another big change that you and I constantly fluctuate between, and that's supplements. There's moments in time where I'm taking like 50 and then I will go like a week. And then I would drag all of them when I travel. And then I start going, you know what? I'm just going to take the bare minimum when I travel. It's too much. It's taking up like 10 pounds of my suitcase. Like I can't do it.
Totally.
And I forget half the time anyway. So I've gotten more into like when I'm at home, I load up. When I'm away, I just chill. But I know you used to take a ton and now you're down to nothing or very little. Or you
I take a small amount of supplements. I take the 2 supplements that were recommended for testosterone support by Huberman, which is Tonkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis. Those are the two. And so like a lot of companies have those two herbs. Like, you know, a lot of people just piggybacked on his recommendation, and like all of a sudden you start seeing all these companies putting those two things together. And so I take those two, and I think they help. You know, I don't take them all the time. I'll go like a few weeks and then take a few weeks off and stuff like that, because I think you can get kind of like an immunity or a tolerance to it. Yeah.
That's why I learned to start just not taking vitamins, or the ones the majority of what I was taking was gone, because I was like, I want it to be effective as well. And
then DHEA, as I started taking that based on this guy named Metabolic Mike. He's a YouTuber, and he's got a pretty good channel. And he talks a lot about that as like something like really necessary in hormonal support for men and women. So I started taking that, and it's I think it helps. I don't know. I'm not like, I wouldn't say like I look like enhanced or anything because of any of them, but like I feel a little stronger. I mean, I'm almost 40, you know, so I think they do help a little bit.
Yeah.
But as far as that other stuff, I take seed. Remember, you tried it before. You didn't like it. The prebiotic, probiotic, or symbiotic, I think is what they call it. And then, I've been taking that for almost a year.
Wow.
I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, gosh, like trying to figure out like, why is my asthma gone? You know, and you know, one thing that has stayed the same throughout is the seed. Which is, there's like such a mystery around. I don't want to, I'm not an expert on any of these things at all. I'm just like a normal consumer like everyone else, but I like definitely do have a strong passion for health and wellness. And, you know, I'm definitely in an era of my life where I'm like very, I've exposed myself to a lot of information.
Yeah. You do your due diligence.
I think so.
Do lots of research, way more than me. Like I used to know way more than you. Now you know way more than me.
I think so. I don't know.
For sure.
But as far as the seed goes, like that is a constant since I've stopped having asthma, you know, and there's like this mystery. It seems like a mystery surrounding just the gut microbiome, and it being 80% of your immune system, which is like really remarkable. Right. And so like what you put in your stomach really can determine your immune response to things, you know.
Interesting. So
yeah,
that makes me wonder.
Yeah.
I always say jokingly, I have an iron stomach. Like I could literally eat anything. Not that I want to, because I could get fat, but I don't get sick. And I wonder if it's because I have a really strong gut. Like the biome stuff happening in there is strong, and that's why I don't get sick.
I mean, it could be. I think they're learning more and more about it, and there's a lot that we don't know. That's it. And for new stuff to be constantly coming out, it just proves how much we don't know, right? Like I've
met some people, and they do that biome testing.
Yeah, the microbiome test.
I just can't do it, dude. I cannot do it. I'm like, it's just going to remain a mystery for me for a while.
I tried to do it.
Oh.
I tried to do it, and I, it's not like a fun thing. You don't like to play with your own poop, and you have to do it. And
that's why I can't do it.
And I did it, and I sent it in, and they said like, oh, you have to do it again. I just literally just ate the money. I was like, forget it. I'm like, I don't want to do that again. Yeah. I was so mad because I followed the instructions so perfectly for this test. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't deserve to know, or something. I don't know.
Need to know.
Maybe I don't need to know. But yeah.